Alright, so welcome back to the video, and what I'm doing this week is basically drawing glasses again, but the difference is do I have the right one? So the difference is I'm trying to use my traditional approach with my traditional marker set. Basically somebody on Instagram asked me that, they told me it would be interesting to see me do the same exercise, but instead of cheap markers from just a supermarket, try and use sketch markers. And that's what I am trying to do now. So the approach is the same that I had in my first drawing last time, which is trying to set up the basic drawing with a very light gray marker. In this case I have a Prismacolor Cool Marker 109 or 09. I think the 08 is the lightest one. So this is somewhat just a bit above that. So the hard part, why it might not go so well, let me reformulate that. When you're doing design sketching, you're supposed to be drawing in as big as possible. The smaller you draw, the not so nice the drawing is going to be. So I'm expecting a little bit, I need a nicer, a better, let me see, I'm just going to go through, I should have prepared this. I did prepare my markers, but I didn't prepare my fine liners. Alright, so let's see. Okay, let me, sorry, I got that. I forgot that I have to talk. So, thing is that, you have to draw as big as possible, but I want to keep it relatively fair. I don't want to do one huge drawing here that might end up looking better than what I had in my previous video. So I'm going to try to draw at least a couple of glasses, and I'm going to try to also keep it in the same time frame. If I remember it correctly, it was around 30 minutes that I spent before on the previous video, so I'm going to try to stick to that. Well, technically I would like to keep it a little bit shorter. It would be cool if I, just since I'm doing sort of a comparison video, if I can also do digital, but let's see. Okay, so this part is the bane of my existence. Well, it's not, but I'm just not good at slow, deliberate, precise lines. For some reason, my hand is very jittery, and I end up with super jittery lines. But yeah. So the main difference here, I think, is going to be the shading. Since I don't just have to use super thin markers, I can jump and take my, let me see, 12 is too much. I'm going to take the 10 gray marker and just add a little bit of shading to it. There we go. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go a little bit darker. I'm going to take the 11 and I'm going to do the inside of the rim. Here. There we go. So I don't have to do it with the dark line. It's also a good idea to mix up, to switch from black to grays if you want to do some outlines and you don't want them to be that strong. You can end up with a nice effect like that. I also have a couple of blues now, so let me take out those. As you can see, so this is Copics, the previous one was Prisma. I have no brand loyalty at the moment, to be honest. There's good markers in every brand, and there's good markers in cheap brands as well. But I feel like for me the most important part is I really love the chisel tips and just the tips and the layering that you get from sketch markers compared to the cheap ones that you get in supermarkets. So what I'm trying to say with this is that you can layer them and it's not going to be as super saturated and ugly as the results that we got with the previous markers. Actually, I'm going to go with a thin edge for this one. So we have a little bit of a darker shadow there, and then maybe a darker shadow there, and then we can add some there as well. There we go. And then if you want to accentuate this a little bit, that's the bottom part. And there we go. We have one pair of glasses done. I would say the whites are a little bit too white, so I'm going to take my 10 and go over parts that I think should be a little bit more brownish. There we go. And actually, let me see if I just got a set of new markers that I want to try out as well. So these are brand new. Let me see. Oh, and I never had the... Okay, so if you're like sort of a hipster person and my girlfriend wants to turn me into one, then you need apparently these new fancy schmancy glasses that are not fancy schmancy. I don't know, these plasticky rimmed glasses that are very much in fashion and hipsters and everybody's wearing, and they just don't work for me because they remind me of my grandma's glasses. And my girlfriend wants to convince me that I have to wear those because I just look better with those. But I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. But we'll see. Okay. There you go. So this would be, maybe I would, let me see, I think I have a darker one. So I'm going to go in with a darker one a little bit as well. Just here and there to add some. There we go. So as you can see, the difference already is the colors stack much nicer. So that's why you pay that extra when you buy the marker sketches, because when you paint over and over, the colors just really stack nicely. Also, I'm also using marker paper, which I forgot to mention. And last time I was just using a regular a regular just copy paper. All right, let's do the next one. I'm going to go a little bit angular this time because we also had angular last time. Let me make it a little bit bigger. There we go. And then after this, I'll go for snow goggles again. Okay. So I would really like to have conversation with people who design glasses. Like what do you think of? Like what is important? Not functionality wise in this case, because functionality wise, for me was the most important. I don't want the frame in the way. I just want to see as much as possible. So that's why I have a frame only on the top part of my glasses. Don't know what that's called. But then from purely aesthetic point, what is it that drives you? How do you shape your glasses? Because I don't know what looks good on a human face. Obviously, I'm also not like I understand fashion in general, but like with glasses, I don't know. The only thing I can say is the whole thing that throws me back to my grandma's glasses as well is if they're huge, I'm not into them because they just remind me of the past and they just don't seem cool to me. I do like aviators because I grew up early 90s, so a lot of 80s influence, and everybody was wearing aviators back then. But for example, I wanted to make this angular, and it looks very old school. There's nothing newish about it. Okay, let's see if I can cheat a little bit of modernity into it by making it a little bit round. Yeah, so much for me wanting to make this angular. Sorry again, I am going to have to turn the page a little bit. Also, if you're interested, I forgot to say the fine liner that I'm using It's a Papermate. It's a pretty, I think, well-known one. Many people use this one. There we go. And then we have the hinge here. Glasses. I wish I wouldn't have to wear them. Actually, I have quite a couple of friends who had, I don't know what's it called, eye reduction? No, I don't know. It's sight fixing, surgery, laser, something, thingamajig. I'm thinking if my eyesight would get worse, maybe it's worth doing that, because yeah, glasses are not fun. I just remember back as a kid, I was yay, sexism incoming. When I was younger, obviously on the beach, all the pretty girls in beachwear, and as a young kid, I could never really enjoy it because I was coming out of the water, and I was always had to look for my glasses, and it would have been just way too suspicious if I'm just quickly putting on my glasses all the time. So I always had friends, oh, look at that pretty girl, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about because I don't see nothing. I was just seeing blobs and shapes, but no faces. All right. So I would say this is good so far. I'm going to switch to markers now. And I am going to, should I go with a different, okay, let me see if I have a dark blue somewhere. I know that. And by dark blue, I mean dark gray blue. And I think that is it. And this is a Touch one. This is also a different brand. There we go. This is what I wanted exactly. So with this one, I would like to simulate some sort of metallic sheeny thing. Let's see how I managed to do that. And then if this is metallic and sheeny, I'm going to make the actual glasses orangey maybe? Orangey, yeah, that could work, why not? Alright, a little bit of sheen there. So if it's metal, then you have to think about, when you do this, you have to think about, well, how are the surfaces? Where is it bending? Where is it round? Where is it flat? Because this sheeniness, it's all reflection. So basically it's reflection of light. So you can't just randomly start throwing around shine, because it's very quickly not gonna make sense. And technically that's what I'm doing. Well, no, I'm trying to think about where's what. And I'm trying to draw according to that. That's one positive if you're working digitally. And digitally, I would have just colored everything gray and then bring back the sheeniness a little bit here and there. Because because my idea now is I'm going to go in with a light gray here as well. So now I'm going to take the, not 10, I want to go straight to 12, I think. Let's see how this looks. Is it too much? A little bit, but yeah. See, I should have left that white. So I want some white here. There we go. I'm going to go there. Is the camera laying correctly? Let me fix this a little bit. I'm going to go with the thinner part. Just connect. There we go. And then bring it up a little bit here. Yeah. I don't know, I find like chrome-like surfaces and shiny surfaces to be very intimidating until you start working with them. And as soon as you start drawing them, well, I'm not saying I'm doing it correct, but most of the intimidation goes away and I'm having a lot of fun. Even if it's not 100% correct what I'm doing, it still looks quite nice. and I enjoy it. Obviously, so back to the comparison, why I'm doing this video, compared to last time, so I have much more markers that I can choose from them than that set that I had there. Okay, let me switch to my oranges. Orange. Okay, I did prepare a couple of colors, just not the ones that I want to use right now, so that's kind of silly of me. Let me see. This seems to be somewhat light. And it is not. Then maybe this one is lighter. Oh, it's yellower, but I'm just gonna do this then. There we go. Look at that. And as last time, always leave some white spaces as well. Don't make everything super orangey. There we go. So there's that. Okay, now let's do the, I think I'll just do the ski thingamajig goggles, and I'll call this one done, because there's no reason to rewatch another video with the same old drawings again. Let me just take some reference. Ski goggles. There we go. That's better. Let me see if I can bring some right into this one. Ski goggles are fun because they look somewhat, especially the newer ones, they look very futuristic. I like that a lot. I don't know if I gave it the thickness last time around, but now I want to. This is, I should make it a little bit longer. And then this is always going to, there we go. I find it interesting. This time around I find it much harder to come up with interesting topics to talk about. Sorry guys, this video is going to be a little bit less interesting, talkative wise, but at least you see the process a little bit differently as well. There we go. See, this is what makes me happy as an industrial design sketcher, when I can do nice and long lines. That's why I said that it would be unfair if I would do one big drawing, because it would be easier for me, and there's a high chance that it might end up looking better. And I don't want to temper with the setup of the initial experiment, if I may say so. Put it in a little bit of a scientific term. Okay, so this is the nose bridge thingy. And there we have. There we go. And then give it some thickness. And there. And then the strap around the head. All right. So I think last time it was purplish. Let me see if I have some purpley markers. Well, I hope it's not pink. Boom. Oh, that is just as I said it, it's ultra pink. All right. Well, that's this both are pink. This is not exactly useful. See, these are also, I think I showed off these markers before. These are my super cheap markers that I got from a supermarket. Well, not as cheap as the other ones, obviously, but super cheap marker, sketch markers. Okay, so this is too light, but I'm gonna try and use the other two. Oh, this is a really interesting video right now for you guys. I bet you are all chained to your seats, not being able to wait for the next moment. What might happen there? Okay, so let's see these. Okay, I like this one. Let's have a little bit of is reflecting something there. There we go. So this is what we're missing when we're just using random children's markers. You don't have this nice chisel tip and then going over your drawing. Small tip, you don't always need to have the next color set to make some nice shadings in between colors. You just wait a little bit and then you can go back with the same exact marker and adjust the color a little bit. In the meanwhile, I'm going to make this blue. Let's see how strong this blue is. Quite strong. What about this one? Yes, this is way stronger. Okay, so it is a blue frame, but I am going to take my 12 here again. And let's say light comes from this direction now. So this is all in shadow and this is shadow. There we go. And then bring it down a little bit here because the lower lid has some shadow. Same here, just a touch. And maybe also on the inside of the frame or lid here as well. There we go. And then a little bit on the upper part as well. Now I'm going to switch to a lighter one. I'm going to switch to the tenor in this case, because if we agree that if the light comes from that direction, there might be a little bit of shadow here as well, but we don't want as much as on the shadow side. Okay, and now I'm going to go back a little bit with the same color, what I was talking about. I'm going to make it a little bit. Or is it not the same color? Well, it is not the same color. Yeah, professionalism, right? But that's the thing, you don't have to freak out. It's still going to work. And I'm still going to do a thing like this again to make it a little bit stronger. How strong was this? Can I work with this a little bit as well? Oh, this was it, maybe? There we go, a little bit of... Yeah, this was the same one. So I'm going to just go over it slightly. And then here as well. And now, to come in with the blue, I'm not going to go everywhere with the blue because it's quite strong. I'm going to do the same as I did before. So here I'll come up to, let's say here. And from here I'm going to do some lines. This hatching sort of style doesn't always work, but I grew up with comics and they use quite a lot of those. And I just got infected with it and find it very hard to get rid of. There we go. Bring a little bit in there. You can also, so usually when there's edges, you have a little bit of darkness and shadow there, so I'm gonna add it there. And with drawings, I always like to do the outlines. You can also think that that's where the surfaces are bending. So that's where you just I was talking before about shine and surfaces and where they're bent. It actually applies for coloring as well. So you can always do a little bit of the outline. I'm going to do it here at the bend again as well. I'm going to apply it here, and then you can also put it here. Here is actually the best because there's no light. All right, a little bit more here. There we go. And I'm going to go to my light blue that I had before. Let me see if it works. If I go over it a little bit like this. Yeah, it's a very light blue, so I find that it works. I'm still going to leave some whites, but I'm going to go over the rest of it with blue. There we go. And now we have a blue framed ski goggle. So now if you want, oh wait, we have, let me use the brownish as well, because we have this brown strap that goes around your head. Okay, I'm going to take this super dark one. It's going to be where the strap is attached to our thingamajig. If you want to be super fancy, and you can buy, well, it's not really super fancy, but you can get one of these Molotov, and it's just white thing, and then where you know that, oh, okay, there's an edge, I can bring in some white there. You can do it, and you can also add it to the shine if you know that you want some extra shine there, but I feel it's not necessary there. Here you can add 1 or 2 dots if it picks up some light and goes up there. Here as well, just to counterbalance that sharp dark lines. All right, let me quickly jump onto the digital, and then I would say this is the comparison, like you can see. Especially you see it especially on the big surfaces like this. Sorry guys, I also wanted to make a digital version. Sadly the recording got corrupted, so I can't use it here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed the comparison, and if you did, maybe think about leaving a like. But if you disliked it, just leave the dislike, but leave a comment as well, because I would like to know how I can make these videos better. If you like my stuff, you can also follow me on Instagram. But that was it for this video. Wish you a great week, and see you folks next time. Bye bye.